We're sitting on the floor when Timmy tells me that they're moving. And at first, I think I have misunderstood the word. Moving is what objects do when they're pushed. Tables, chairs, boxes, sometimes monsters when the threshold pulls us too hard and we slide somewhere we didn't mean to. Moving's not something that happens to children. Children stay. Beds stay, for the most part. That's how the world works. And Timmy is cross-legged on the carpet, his pajama pants twisted around his knees. The flashlight lies on its side between us, casting a weak, circular glow that makes the shadows look softer than they really are. I'm holding a cinnamon roll very carefully, the way he taught me, so the sugar doesn't fall into my joints and harden there. He's already eaten too and insists that this is my turn, even though I've reminded him more than once that human food was not designed with bodies like mine in mind. Even though I did love the taste. "You're supposed to eat it," he says, watching me instead of his hands. "I am eating it. Slowly." "That's not eating, that's staring." "I am building anticipation." He snorts and flops backward onto the carpet, laughing. The sound fills the room and rattles pleasantly inside my chest. Laughter still surprises me sometimes. In my realm, we don't make noise unless something is wrong. I finally bite the cinnamon roll. Sugar crunches between my teeth. The inside is warm and soft and entirely worth the mess it makes of me. I make an undignified noise and Timmy laughs harder. "You look like you're about to cry," he says. "I might. This is very good." "See, I told you." We sit there for a while after that, comfortable and quiet, listening to the house settle around us. This is what our nights have become. No screaming, no fear. Just sitting on the floor like this, sharing food and stories until Timmy's eyelids start to droop. That's why I notice immediately when something changes. Timmy stops smiling. He sits up straighter and begins picking at the edge of the carpet with his fingers. He doesn't look at me. Humans do this when they're trying to gather courage. I've learned this through observation. "What's wrong?" "Nothing," he says quickly. "That was too fast. You didn't consider it." He sighs and leans back on his hands, staring at the ceiling. "We're moving," he says. The word echoes inside me. "Moving," I repeat. "Yeah, my parents found a new house. In a different town?" I wait for the part where he laughs, but he doesn't. "When?" "Soon, like really soon." Something inside me tightens. A sensation like being pulled in two directions at once. The threshold tugs at me every morning, but this feels different. This feels like something tearing. "Oh," I say, because I don't have a better word. We sit in silence. The flashlight hums faintly, outside a car passes, and the world continues uncaring. "You'll still come, right? To the new house?" This is where I'm supposed to lie. I could tell him yes, easily. Humans believe easy answers. But I've learned something from Timmy, that lying feels worse later. "It will be difficult." His shoulders slump. "Beds are anchored to places. We don't follow people easily. We're pulled by spaces, rooms, and whatnot, houses." "So, you can't?" "I can try. I promise I will try. It may take time. A lot of time. But I will look for you. House after house, night after night." He turns to look at me, really look at me, as if searching my face for something solid to hold on to. You promise? Yes. I promise. And I mean it with everything I am. His smile comes back, small and wobbly, but real. Okay. He yawns after that, sudden and wide, and rubs his eyes with the heels of his hands. Humans pretend they're not tired, even when they clearly are. Will you stay till I fall asleep? Of course. He climbs into bed and pulls a blanket up to his chin. I slide back under the bed and settle into the familiar hollow, watching his breathing slow. The room looks the same as it always has. But now I'm aware of how temporary it is. How fragile. I memorize everything. The crack in the wall near the door. The loose floorboard that squeaks when stepped on. The way the moonlight cuts across the dresser. The markings on the door frame that show how Timmy has grown throughout the years. And when he's asleep, I do not leave right away. I stay longer than I'm supposed to, listening to the sound of his heart and wondering how many nights like this I have left. I do not know when that is the last time I'll see this room. I only know something important has begun to slip away. Timmy's new room smells wrong. That's the first thing Timmy notices on the first night. The air's sharper, cleaner, like paint and plastic and something unfamiliar underneath it all. The bed is in the wrong place. The window is higher. The shadows don't stretch the way they're supposed to. Timmy lies awake, staring at the ceiling, waiting. Roy always comes early. That's what Timmy tells himself. Roy said it would take time, but that doesn't mean tonight. Tonight is special. Tonight is the first night in a new place. Roy wouldn't miss that, Timmy thought. Timmy lays on the floor and keeps his eye on the space beneath the bed. Nothing happens. Minutes pass, hours pass, and his breathing slows and speeds up when the house creaks. He whispers once, just in case. Roy? The word feels small in the room. Nothing answers. Eventually, sleep takes him uneasy and shallow. The second night, Timmy hears a sound. It's soft, almost polite, a dragging noise against the carpet. His heart jumps into his throat. He sits up slowly and swings his legs over the side of the bed, hope flooding him so fast it makes his hands shake. Roy? He whispers, leaning forward. Something shifts in the dark, but it doesn't move the way Roy does. This thing stretches. It unfolds in sharp, deliberate motions like it wants to be seen. Its eyes catch the faint glow from the nightlight and reflect it back, bright and wrong. It doesn't speak out loud. The voice slides into Timmy's head. Ah, a new child in this house. How delightful. Timmy screams. The light snaps on, his parents rush in. By the time his dad checks under the bed, there's nothing there. Just your imagination, his mom says gently, smoothing his hair. New house, new sounds. Timmy nods, shaken. But he doesn't sleep after that. This new monster doesn't come the next night, or the one after that. A week passes, then two. Timmy starts to think maybe it really was his imagination. Maybe fear filled in the dark where Roy should have been. But he hates that thought. Then, on a Thursday night, the whispers return. Not loud, not sudden, just there. Yes, a new child for me. Timmy squeezes his eyes shut. He doesn't scream this time. He pulls the blanket over his head and tries to pretend the voice isn't real. This new monster learns quickly. It learns what Timmy is afraid of. It learns which words made his stomach twist. It never touches him. It doesn't need to. It leaves long stretches of silence between visits, so Timmy never knows when it's coming back. Some weeks it only appears once, other weeks it comes every night. What are you waiting for, child? So many nights we have between us left. Timmy stops raising his hand in class. He stops talking at lunch. His teacher calls his parents. They nod and say moving is hard. Kids adjust at their own pace. At night, Timmy presses his feet together under the blanket, afraid to let them dangle over the edge of the bed. Roy still doesn't come. Months pass. Timmy starts to wonder if Roy was ever even real. Not fully, not completely, but doubt begins to creep in during the long, quiet nights. Maybe Roy was a dream. Maybe loneliness invented him. But then Timmy remembers the way Roy struggled with pizza rolls. The way he laughed, the way that he promised him he'd find him. And Timmy knows. Roy was real. And somehow that makes the nights worse. 6 months after the move, the shuffling returns, and Timmy doesn't whisper this time. He screams and kicks, scrambling backward off the bed, hard hammering. Ow! The voice that answers is familiar. Timmy, it's me! He freezes. The monster under the bed recoils, startled. Roy? Timmy whispers, barely daring to believe it. Of course it's me. Why would you? Roy says, confused, as Timmy collapses into sobs. And under the bed, Roy realizes something is very, very wrong. I don't understand at first. Timmy is on the floor, folded in on himself, his hands pressed to his face like he's trying to hold something in. I reach for him without thinking, then stop short. Humans sometimes don't want to be touched when they're breaking. Timmy, I say softly. What happened? Why would you? He shakes his head hard. You were gone. You were gone for so long. I told you it might take time. I've been looking. For months. He interrupts, voice cracking. It's been almost 6 months, Roy. The words hit me. 6 months? That can't be right. I've been searching. I remember slipping between houses, following beds, feeling close, and then losing the thread again. Time stretches from where I'm from, and it also shortened. It didn't feel like half a year. I didn't know. I swear I've been trying every night, Timmy. I thought you weren't even real anymore. Something inside me caves in. There was another monster, Timmy says, finally looking up at me. His eyes are red and swollen, older than they should be. The first night here, I thought it was you. I really did. My stomach drops. What did it look like? He hesitates. Different. Sharp. Gangly. Long limbs. Huge head. Short claws, but big teeth, and 4 eyes. 2 of them white, 2 of them red. That alone tells me too much. I know what monster this is. It came back. Not every night. Sometimes it waited. Sometimes it didn't come for weeks, and then it would show up every night like it was mad I forgot about it. I shaped my tendrils into fists. It never touched me. It didn't have to. It just talked, said things, said I deserved it. I feel sick. I've hardly slept. I tried, but I couldn't. My parents thought, and still think, I'm just sad about moving. They didn't see it, of course. No one saw it. I'm sorry, I say, and the words feel too small. I'm so sorry, Timmy. He wipes his face with a sleeve. I waited for you for so long. I was looking. I swear I was. Time doesn't work the same where I'm from. Nights fold into each other. It felt like weeks for me, maybe a little more. 6 months. I nod, shame heavy in my chest. The silence between us is thick. I kept thinking maybe you couldn't find me, or maybe you didn't want to. That one hurts. I would never, I say, voice breaking. I would never. I made a promise to you, Timmy. I sink down on the floor across from him, making myself small. I bow my head, something monsters rarely do. I failed you. I promised I would come back, and it took me too long. You're here now. Yes. And I'm not leaving again. The air shifts. Something under the bed stirs, annoyed. Timmy tenses immediately, and I see it. The fear hasn't faded. That's it. That's the one. Tell me everything, every detail. He's not here yet, he's just phasing in. He describes the voice, the way it looked, the way it sounded. I know it. You do? Yes. Not well, but I have heard of it. What is it? It's afraid. It didn't seem afraid. It is. More than most of us. That's why it hates humans. It believes if it scares first, it won't have to feel small itself. So it's bullying me? Yes. And feeding on your fear to justify itself. I hate it. So do I. The monster is still trying to make its way through. It won't come back. How do you know? Because we are going to scare it. And Timmy sits on the floor with his knees hugged to his chest, listening as I explain, and I can see him trying to force his breathing to stay even. The shadows beneath the bed seem to thicken. Monsters are pulled here at night. It isn't a choice. The threshold opens and we slide through whether we want to or not. Like a magnet? Yes. But not all beds pull the same. Not all houses feel the same. Some places are quieter, some are louder, and some feel more safe. And some don't, he mutters. Fear changes. It changes the pull. When a human is afraid in a room, the room becomes brighter to us, not light, more like. It glows in our senses. It becomes easier to find, easier to fall into. So it keeps coming here because I'm scared? Because of what it did to you. Because of how it made you fear it. So if I stop being scared, it might lose its tether. It might drift elsewhere. It likes that I'm scared, though. Yes. It likes the certainty. It likes that it can press one button and you will scream. Timmy looks at me with something new in his eyes. Anger. Not wild panic, not helpless dread. Anger, clean and sharp. I want it gone. I know. Can you fight it? I can't. We don't fight like humans, not with fists, not with biting. We are more fragile. We are shadows holding ourselves together with intention. That monster is older than me, meaner than me. If it wants to tear me apart, it could. But it is still a monster and it's still afraid, Timmy. It doesn't act afraid. No, it acts angry. It scares you before you scare it. So what do we do? I take a slow breath and let the idea settle into the air between us. Well, we do the unthinkable. He waits. You scare it. Me? Yes. He looks down at his hands like he expects them to suddenly turn into claws. But I'm a kid. You were a kid when you made a monster your friend. Now you will be a kid when you scare another. How am I supposed to scare it when I'm scared of it? That's the trick. You don't scare it by being loud. You scare it by not being what it expects you to be. What does it expect? Well, it expects you to scream. It expects you to hide. It expects your fear to pour into the room like warm soup that it can lap up deliciously. Timmy makes a face. Gross. It is gross. And it drinks it. Monsters fear certain things. Monsters fear being seen clearly. Monsters fear names. Monsters fear people. Names? A name is a hook. If you name something, you define it. If you define it, it can't hide. A monster that can't hide is just a creature, and a creature can be refused. So I have to name it? Yes, and look at it. I can't look at it. Every time I do, I feel like my brain's gonna fall out. I will be here, watching from on top the nightstand. But I can't do it for you. What if it gets mad? It will. But mad is still fear, and it will lash out because it doesn't know what else to do, Timmy. And what if I mess up? Then we try again. We have as many nights as it takes now that I know where you live. He breathes out slowly. Okay, tell me what to do. So I do. We practice. It's taking an unusual amount of time for this monster to phase into the human realm. Probably trying to stay in our realm as long as it possibly can. So we have time. I can feel it. At first, this practice is ridiculous. Timmy stands in front of his bed with the flashlight like a sword while I lurk under the frame and pretend to be the other monster. Go away! That was a good beginning, but not like that. You pleaded. I wasn't pleading. You were. Your voice went up at the end. That makes it a question. You asked permission for it to leave. Timmy groans and flops backward onto his bed. This is stupid. It is, but it will work. He sits up again, cheeks flushed. Okay, so how do I do it? You don't ask, you tell. Go away. Better, but still thin. Louder. Go away. Now look under the bed when you say it. He hesitates. I can hear his heartbeat fast, rabbit fast. Think also, Timmy, what can you call this thing? What can you name it? I can call it a coward. Yes, that is the hook. Timmy sits up straighter. The night deepens. And beneath the bed, the shadows thicken again. I stand on the nightstand. It's here. I feel it too, the wrongness in the dark. The way the air under the bed seems to bristle. Remember, Timmy. Timmy nods once, sharp, as if nodding will lock the courage in place. The shuffling begins. Slow at first, like it's savoring the approach. Then faster, scraping against the carpet, circling beneath the bed frame. Timmy's hands twitch. He wants to grab the blanket. He wants to hide. I can see the old reflex rising in him like a wave. I shift on the nightstand. I watch. The monster slides forward into the faint glow of the nightlight. And then the voice slides into Timmy's head, and I can hear it. There you are. Timmy flinches. His mouth opens, but no sound comes out. It leans closer. Yes, you missed me, didn't you? It's been some time. Timmy's breath hitches. His hands curl into fists. The monster's voice turns sweet. Go on. Scream for me. Let me hear it. Timmy's throat begins to work. I see the scream climbing up his chest like a living thing, trying to escape. He swallows it, he stands. The movement is small, but it's everything. Timmy rises from the bed and plants his feet on the floor like he owns it. The monster pauses. Timmy's voice shakes, but it's loud enough. No. The monster's eyes narrow. No, is that right, little Timmy? Did you tell me no? It repeats, amused. Timmy takes a breath. His eyes flick briefly toward the darkness under the bed, toward me, then back to the monster. He looks at it, really looks. And then he speaks with a force that makes the room feel brighter. I'm not doing this anymore, Timmy says. The monster's smile twitches. Oh, you don't get to decide that. Yes, I do. The monster's shape ripples, as if offended by the idea. I know what you are. The monster stills. Timmy's fingers tremble, but he doesn't drop his gaze. You're not brave. You're not powerful. The monster's eyes flare. Timmy takes one step closer. You're a coward. You scare me because you're scared of me. The air shakes. The monster's shape wobbles and flickers again. Its voice turns harsh, cracking at the edges. Stop it. Timmy doesn't. Coward, he says again, louder. Coward. You're a coward. The words land like a hook. I feel it sink in. I feel the monster's blur snag on it like a cloth catching on a nail. Its limbs twitch. It sharpens, unsharpens, tries to come back into focus, struggling back and forth. The monster lurches forward, not to strike, but to reclaim dominance, to force Timmy back into the shape of old terror. Timmy doesn't move. He doesn't scream. He simply says, I see you, coward. And the monster panics. Not the controlled panic it uses as a weapon, but a real panic. The kind I recognize from myself. The kind that makes your body collapse. Its edges melt. Its joints lose their sharpness. Its face flickers between forms, unable to decide which mask will work. It tries to speak again, but the voice stutters. You. Timmy's eyes stay locked on it. You don't get to live here. Not in my room. Not under my bed. The monster's gaze snaps toward the bed. Rage flares in like a final spark. It sees me. It sees me and sees Timmy. It begins to launch itself at Timmy in one final attack. In a blur of speed, I launch myself from the nightstand in between Timmy and the monster. I unfold into my largest shape, not to attack but to block. I become a wall. The impact slams into me. My form ripples, nearly coming apart, but I hold. The monster snarls inside my head. Traitor! I don't answer with violence. I answer with defiance. No, I say. He is not your toy. The monster strains against me, trying to push past. Timmy's voice comes from above, loud and clear. Coward! He yells. The word hits it again and its pressure falters. It recoils like it's been burned. In one final moment, its shape and body collapse. And I feel as it's being tugged back to our realm. Back into hiding. Back to heal. Timmy steps closer to the edge of the bed and looks down into the dark, unblinking. Is that it? He asks me. It is, I respond. I take my normal shape and go back under the bed. Timmy looks exhausted, but he also looks steady. I did it. Yes, you did. I thought I was going to throw up. That would have been an acceptable reaction, I tell him. He laughs again. I come out of him from under the bed, and Timmy and I sit with our backs against the nightstand. The nightlight hums. The darkness under the bed is just darkness again. Eventually, Timmy yawns, huge and heavy, like his body has been waiting months to let itself sleep. Roy? Yes? Are you going to be here tomorrow night? I hope so. But if the elders know what I've done... Timmy's eyes droop, but his voice stays calm. I hope to see you tomorrow night. I'll be waiting. He crawls into bed and turns onto his side, facing the wall the way he used to in the old house. His breathing slows almost immediately, deep and even. I sit under the bed and watch the room. The darkness doesn't feel like a trap tonight. It feels like a place where two friends can exist. two friends from different worlds. I really care about this kid. I'll do everything I have to do to make it back tomorrow. A while later, Timmy stirs and whispers without opening his eyes. Pizza rolls tomorrow? I can't help but smile in the dark. Yes, I whisper back. Pizza rolls tomorrow. I'll be here, my friend. Thanks for listening, everybody. Most of us grow out of being afraid of the dark. But what if the dark was afraid of you? And if you could have a monster like Roy under your bed, would you want one? Leave a comment down below and let me know. And as always, thanks for listening, everybody.